Netflix's most-watched movie of all time could have been a slam dunk for Sony Entertainment. What went wrong? Picture this: you create what becomes the most-watched movie on the world's biggest streaming platform. Your film's soundtrack breaks Billboard records that stood for 67 years. It generates billions of Spotify streams. Your breakout song performed by a fictional group gets nominated for a VMA, against real artists. The movie sells out theaters months after its streaming debut. And your profit? A flat $20 million on a property that could be worth billions. Welcome to Sony's K-pop demon hunter's nightmare, or Netflix's golden dream, depending on where you're sitting. For investors watching the streaming wars, this isn't just a Hollywood cautionary tale. It's a masterclass in what happens when you cap your upside right before lightning strikes. The same principle that burns options traders who sell too early scorched Sony on a billion-dollar scale. Here's what went wrong and what you can learn from Sony's mistakes. The pandemic deal that started it all. Back in 2021, when movie theaters were ghost towns and streaming was king, Sony Pictures Animation made what seemed like a smart bet. They struck a deal with Netflix for their upcoming animated film about K-pop superstars who moonlight as demon hunters. The terms? Netflix would cover the $100 million production budget and throw in a $20 million profit for Sony. Clean, simple, pandemic-proof. At the time, Sony Pictures chairman Tom Rothman called these Netflix direct-to-platform deals part of their pandemic strategy. Movies like The Wish Dragon, Vivo, and The Mitchells vs. The Machines were all sold to Netflix. The latter was a big success for Netflix, even netting it an Oscar nomination. In a 2023 Business Insider interview, he confirmed, "We made a few direct-to-platform films for them. And we're making a big animated K-pop musical." Sony thought they were being smart with guaranteed returns. They weren't wrong about the profit, just everything else. Fast forward to August 2025, K-pop Demon Hunters has become Netflix's most-watched movie ever with over 236 million views. 4 songs from its soundtrack are simultaneously in the Billboard Hot 100's top 10, something that's literally never happened in the chart's 67-year history. Golden sits at number 1, marking the first time a girl group has topped the chart since Destiny's Child, and a fictional one at that. And Sony's take from all this success? Still that same $20 million. Dave Ramsey's plan has people crushing debt fast. Drowning in debt? Dave Ramsey's viral 7-step method is helping people wipe it out and finally build real savings. No gimmicks, just a clear plan that works. MoneyWise breaks it down so you can get started in minutes. If you're serious about getting ahead, don't miss this. Frozen but Sony, let it go too soon. Here's what makes this particularly painful for Sony. Netflix executives are internally calling K-pop Demon Hunters their Frozen equivalent. If you need a reminder, Frozen has generated billions for Disney through movies, merchandise, theme park attractions, and endless replays of Let It Go. The comparison isn't hyperbole. K-pop Demon Hunters became the first Netflix original film to go up to a new viewing peak in its 6th week, 26.3 million views, topping week 5, 25.8 million, and week 4, 24.2 million. When Netflix tested theatrical sing-along screenings on August 23 to 24, they grossed $18 to $20 million in just 2 days across 1,700 theaters, with most screenings completely sold out, despite the movie being free to stream at home. Think about that. Netflix made Sony's entire profit margin in a single weekend. From sing-alongs. Of a movie that had been streaming for 2 months. Perhaps the most brutal twist? Last September, Sony's CFO Hiroki Totoki told the Financial Times, "Whether it's for games, films, or anime, we don't have that much IP that we fostered from the beginning. We're lacking the early phase of IP, and that's an issue for us." Translation: Sony desperately needs original franchises. They just gave away what might be their biggest one ever. The billions Sony left on the table. Netflix was so caught off guard by consumer demand that they started reprinting crew gifts as merchandise. That sold-out plush tiger selling for $47.95? Originally a freebie for the production team. By July 1st, Netflix said K-pop Demon Hunters items were among the top 5 bestsellers of the year, and Sony gets 0 from any of it. Netflix is reportedly treating this as their Disney Princess franchise, indicating plans for everything from a stage musical to a live-action remake, sources tell The Wrap. While no sequels have been officially announced, industry insiders report Netflix is developing 2 follow-ups to complete a trilogy, plus series spin-offs. Sony's take from this billion-dollar ecosystem remains to be seen. At the very least they'll net production fees if they animate the sequels, but as of now, no merchandise, no spin-offs, no live-action rights. They're a hired gun in their own creation. The music revenue alone is staggering, with 2.3 billion streams and counting as of August, at Spotify's average payout of $0.003-$0.004 per stream. That's roughly $7 to $9 million Sony won't see. Golden sitting at number 1 on Billboard and now nominated for Song of the Summer at the 2025 MTV VMAs in an industry first, competing against real-life artists like Morgan Wallen and Sabrina Carpenter. Those sync licenses for commercials and TV shows. The inevitable TikTok licensing deals. Heck, even the instant ramen deals. All Netflix's now. Consider the full scope of what Sony gave up. Merchandise rights that could rival Frozen's billions. Theme park potential, imagine K-pop Demon Hunters at Universal Studios. Award potential, Golden, is submitted for Best Original Song at the Oscars, nominated for a VMA. Live concert opportunities. The rare property that gets more popular over time. To put this in perspective, Netflix paid $465 million just for Seinfeld reruns. Sony created an original global phenomenon and walked away with $20 million. Invest in real estate without the headache of being a landlord. Imagine owning a portfolio of thousands of well-managed single-family rentals or a collection of cutting-edge industrial warehouses. You can now gain access to a $1 billion portfolio of income-producing real estate assets designed to deliver long-term growth from the comforts of your couch. The best part? You don't have to be a millionaire and can start investing in minutes. Why it could only happen on Netflix? Here's the uncomfortable truth. This phenomenon might only have been possible on Netflix. I get why Sony didn't release it in theaters. It would have been too hard a sell theatrically, a rival studio executive told The Wrap. The film's week 1 numbers were modest, just 9.2 million views. But then TikTok discovered it. Kids watched on repeat. By week 2, 22.7 million views. This viral spread required Netflix's instant rewatchability and shareability. As Fandango's Sean Robbins told The Wrap, Netflix found a way to meet that audience where they were, and it paid off big. According to industry insiders, Sony executives believed K-pop Demon Hunters would have a typical streaming lifecycle, big opening weekend, then fade into Netflix's vast catalog. Reality check. The film is still number 1 on Netflix 7 weeks after release.